Hey guys, welcome back to another video. I hope you're all doing well. And today I wanted to talk to you guys about the phone that got this hobby and passion started for me. And that's the phone we're looking at right here. Oddly enough, it's an eBay listing. I just wanted something with realistic pictures, but the phone here in front of us is an LG Transpire. And if you haven't heard of that, don't worry, it wasn't a flagship. It wasn't even a mid-range phone back then. As you can see here, I have a couple tabs. So the first tab here, we're going to take a look at the specs in just a second. Here's an eBay listing with decent pictures. We're going to take a look at those. And this tab here, I searched up when the iPod Touch 5th generation released. That's because I had one of those pretty much right around the time they came out, which according to Google is September 2012. I couldn't really remember that date, but I ended up having an iPod Touch 5th gen for about 2 years, maybe even 3 years. But before I got that, and again, it was quite a bit better of a device spec-wise and just all around than this LG Transpire device I had. Now, this was a phone I went into Best Buy. It was a prepaid device on Verizon's network, and I think I spent maybe $100 on it. Of course, a little bit more with taxes, but $100 is all I spent on this device. Now, I've been racking my brain to find out the exact timeline of when I had this device because, like I said, when the iPod Touch 5th gen was released at the end of 2012, I pretty much got one of those when they were still brand new, maybe even like around my birthday 2013, so that would have been around March. And I had this phone before I had the iPod. I think I was honestly probably in like 8th grade, and again, I had this phone for about a year. But aside from the timeline, I'm sure I'm a bit off. It's been quite a long time. That's been years and years and years ago. We can still take a look at the phone and look at the specs, talk about how this kickstarted my passion for smartphones. So, back then, for the majority of my life, I grew up outside, and for a pastime, we just played with toys inside or we watched TV, And although this wasn't my first actual phone, I had a flip phone before that. If you guys want to hear this full story, I could make a long video, just trying to keep this short. I had phones before this that weren't a smartphone, but this was my first smart device. And I just remember being so mind blown because the world was moving to this like digital online age, I can't really put it into words, but it was just so amazing how we could stay connected to each other and like social media and all that wirelessly with this pocket computer. I mean, even today, they still blow my mind how powerful phones are. And that's really what we're carrying as pocket computers. The things that really stand out here is this. I saw this screen a lot on my LG. I just remember having to reboot it. I can't remember what bugs I had, but it was an okay phone. But I just remember seeing this screen a lot. This one here stands out to me right when it was booting up. Now, this person here in their picture, they have Android 5.1.1. I swear I remember mine having 4.4.1. Maybe there was an update near the end, but this one has 5.1.1. I think 4.4.1 was KitKat, so that's what mine had the majority of the time. They also, these navigations at the bottom, I didn't have those. I had like an actual little house for the home button, and I think for the multitasking, like the recent apps, it was like 3 little lines. And the back arrow was like this U-shaped kind of back arrow. So I definitely don't remember this 3-button navigation. Mine was the older style. In this picture here, there's the phone name, which is the model number VS810PP. I definitely remember that. And of course, here's a picture of the back of the device with an LED flash and a single camera, which is just crazy because nowadays we have 3 cameras on the back of a lot of devices. And back then, I never really saw it going that way. I mean, I can remember when the iPhone went to 2 cameras, I believe. I'm sure someone did it before Apple, or maybe Apple did it first. I'm not sure. When phones went to 2 cameras, people were like, whoa, 2 cameras, But even back then, most devices just had 1 camera. I'm pretty sure even the flagships just had 1 rear camera. But yeah, it cost $100, and I just remember it didn't feel premium. Even back then, I didn't know anything about smartphones at all. I think my buddy John, and if he watches this video, he may find this kind of funny, he sort of helped me figure out how to research the specs and stuff of a device and find something that just fit my budget, and this was definitely a budget phone. Also, it had a removable battery. I mean, look how quickly smartphones went away from removable batteries, and it had a plastic back. I don't think I used a case with this phone, so it ended up being pretty scratched up in the end. Don't really remember what happened to it at this point. I'd have to dig deep in the files of my brain to figure out what happened to this device, but let's jump over here and take a look at the specs, okay? So this was a 4.5-inch display, 480p. Just, oh my God, these specs are just so funny to look at nowadays with, I'm using a OnePlus 13 and I have a Pixel 9 Pro. It's just so funny to look at these specs. 480p display, 207 pixels per inch. That's just so funny because nowadays it's like 400 plus, you know. Apparently it was an IPS LCD, but I just remember the viewing angles being awful. See right here, if you guys can see this picture here, can I open this up somehow? Oh man, it won't let me. I don't think it'll let me open it up. But if you guys can zoom into the video, see the little house right there? And the back arrow, that's the ones I had on my LG. Let's take a look at these pictures. Oh, it's just kind of the same. Oh, they had a white one. Okay. Well, this is probably the unlocked one. Mine said Verizon on the back, like this one right here. Mine said Verizon. The old Verizon logo. Oh my gosh. Do you guys remember that? That's even the old Verizon logo, and it said 4G LTE on the back. It had a Snapdragon 400, which was a 1.2 gigahertz quad core, 1 gig of RAM, 4 gigs of storage, and I remember having issues with storage even back then. Maybe 4 gigabytes wasn't a lot. Again, I didn't know anything about smartphones, but I do remember struggling with storage. It did have expandable memory. Maybe I had an SD card in there, and I think I did actually. I don't know how big of an SD card, but I did have one in there. I think you could even install some apps on it back then. So that camera on the back was a 5 megapixel and you got the LED flash. The front camera was a whopping 1 megapixel, and I just remember it not looking just good at all, right? 1 megapixel, VGA quality. So the overall dimensions, this is in millimeters, 128 by 68 by 10.7. And thinking back on it now, it did seem kind of thick. You know, it seemed like a thick boy. And here we are with the Android version. Here it says 4.4.2. Maybe that's what it was. I swear I remember 4.4.1. Maybe I'm getting old. I'm losing my mind, but maybe that's what it was. And before the days of USB-C, you had to charge it with a micro USB cable. And for a long time, that's how you charged Android devices. And that's kind of why the Lightning connector seemed like revolutionary, which is so funny now because Apple, the iPhones are on USB-C, which has me thinking, what was the first device, like officially in the US with USB-C? Anyway, just going down the rabbit hole here. I'm pretty sure this had a headphone jack. Yeah, right here. It had a headphone jack. Of course, that's a thing of the past now, but just wow, a headphone jack. So yeah, not a fantastic device by any means, but for $100, it served me pretty well. Also, I forgot the battery size, 2100 milliamps. It's just one of those specs when you look at it and you say it out loud, you're like, wow, 2100 milliamps. Now we have 5,000, 6,000 milliamp hour batteries. The rumored OnePlus 15 is going to have a 7,000 plus milliamp hour battery. So to see all these specs, it's just like, wow, how far we've come, you know. And the issues and bugs I had with this device just had me wanting something a little bit better. And back then, Apple just seemed to be all the craze. I mean, even nowadays, Apple seems like all the craze. And if my memory serves me right, back then the iPhone was quite a bit more than the iPod Touch. Really, the only thing the iPod Touch lacked was just the phone app, you know. It had pretty much everything else that the iPhone had. So I just remembered wanting something better build quality, just better all around. And that's where the iPod Touch 5th gen came into play. And even though on paper this might not look like a big step up, it definitely was. And the iPod Touch 5th gen served me pretty dang well for at least 3 years. I can remember my later years in high school having the iPod Touch 5th gen. I had it jailbroken. I can't remember what, Red Snow, does this ring a bell for anybody? I'm just throwing things out here that's just popping into my mind. It was jailbroken, the Cydia app, oh my gosh, so many tweaks I did to my iPod Touch. It seemed like the battery life was awful. I don't know if it was just awful altogether or just more awful after I jailbroke it, but it definitely was a much better device and it served me pretty well. I remember the case I had was like a lime green Griffin. Does Griffin make cases anymore? It was a Griffin Survivor case. Kind of like it was a, I don't know, maybe an OtterBox Defender knockoff, but it did really protect the phone pretty well. It made it a lot bulkier. And I remember getting this iPod and having iOS 6. I'm not sure if it was a 6 point something or 6.0, but iOS 6 was just so nostalgic for me. And that's what, you know, combined with the LG phone we took a look at, that's what really kickstarted my passion for smartphones. And the fact that we're carrying miniature computers in our pockets that allow us to stay connected every single day, pay our bills, play games, video chat, whatever you want to do. And I'm probably leaving a lot out in this story of what kickstarted my whole passion for smartphones and YouTube. I would probably have to go live and do a much longer piece of content talking about my history of devices. I've definitely had a lot of phones in my day. Galaxy S7, I've had plenty of Pixels. I had a Pixel 2 XL, 3A XL, 4 XL for a short period of time, Pixel 7 for a short period of time. I mean, I've had lots of other devices too. I've had iPads, I've had iPhones, but yeah, just wanted to share with you guys what kickstarted my passion for smartphones and what keeps me in the hobby of researching the latest and greatest tech. and making videos on it. If you guys have any questions, or maybe I left some minor details out in my story, maybe the timelines or whatever, let me know down in the comments. I appreciate you watching, and I'll see you in the next video.